Today we're talking about the 18 biggest mistakes that we see people make after their ex breaks up with them. Now, as always, each one of the mistakes that I'm going to be talking about in this video are not just pulled from a hat. These are real life mistakes that we've seen our clients actually make that have completely ruined their chances of getting their exes back. Now, it's important for you not to panic if you've made one of these mistakes. It's not like making one of these mistakes alone is going to cost you your chance of getting your ex back. But I'm not going to lie to you. The truth is, if after I list out this list, you're finding that you've made like half of these mistakes, it is going to definitely hamper your chances of getting your ex back. So let's educate you and start. Mistake number one, breaking the no contact rule. Now, you have to be familiar with the no contact rule if you're an avid watcher of this YouTube channel, or you are just really getting into understanding how to get your ex back. I am not the only quote unquote expert recommending a no contact rule. Yet what we're finding is people who tend to survive the no contact rule, meaning they go their entire no contact period without breaking it one time to talk to their ex or respond to their ex when their ex reaches out to them during no contact, seem to have a better chance of success. And what we're finding is the people who do end up breaking the no contact rule are often repeat offenders. What do I mean by that? Well, simply put, if you do a no contact rule and then 5 days into the no contact rule, your ex texts you and you break the no contact to respond to them, you are a lot more likely to continue breaking it again and again and again. The truth is the no contact rule is a huge test on your discipline, and unfortunately, most people are not very disciplined. Mistake number two, going too fast too soon. This one's actually pretty simple to understand. A lot of times when you're dealing with someone who wants to get their exes back more than anything, they have a tendency to try to rush the process. This is why we came up with our concept called the value ladder. It's designed to basically very slowly but methodically rebuild attraction or rapport with your ex. So we're finding that people who tend to use a no contact rule and immediately ask for a date after the no contact rule is up almost always fail. Whereas someone who goes through the value ladder, they go through a no contact rule, then they begin to build rapport through texting, then they begin to build rapport through phone calls, FaceTime, Zoom, video chat, then they build rapport through small meetups, and then they build rapport through romantic dates before they begin to even think about putting their ex in a position where their ex can ask for them back or they can ask for their ex back. Don't go too fast too soon. Trust the process. Mistake number three, living together with your ex after a breakup. So a lot of times we're finding everyone has a pretty unique situation. Not all situations are created equally. And one of those situations that we're finding is incredibly difficult is a situation where you actually live with your ex when this breakup goes down. Now you would think that staying in that environment would be the best thing for you, but actually that's not the smartest approach. What we're finding is the people who end up moving away from their ex or getting their ex to move out of the apartment end up having a better chance of success than those who are staying in the apartment. Why? Well, we think it's because ultimately they can't do a proper no contact rule immediately after the breakup. Your ex can see how much you're struggling and therefore they understand, hey, they're still into me. So if you're in a situation where you live with your ex, if it's feasible, either move away or get your ex to move away. Mistake number four, waiting for them to text you first. What matters isn't who starts the conversation, but rather who ends the conversation. This is actually the mantra that I continually repeat almost every single day to coaching clients. Why? Because they don't have this understanding. They're taught growing up that it's a really big deal if their ex reaches out to them first. And I'm not gonna lie, it is helpful if your ex reaches out to you first. But what we're finding matters more isn't so much who starts conversations, but rather who ends conversations. This kind of goes into that Zeigarnik effect psychology concept where, people remember open loops or interrupted tasks or incomplete questions better than closed loops and completed questions and all the above. So try to get off the mentality that you absolutely need to make your ex text you first. Remember, there's no shame in texting your ex first as long as you're the one to end the conversation first. Mistake number five, being a gnat. What is a gnat? Well, simply put, a gnat is going nuts at Texting. This is the ultimate anxious, insecure type of behavior where you blow your ex's phone up trying to get a response. This is a huge mistake because oftentimes the reason your ex breaks up with you is because they cannot take your possessiveness or your anxiety. And all you end up doing by becoming a gnat, going nuts at texting, is you actually reinforce this negative idea that your ex has of you. Mistake number 6, no curiosity hook in your text messages. This one's also really simple to understand. We're finding that people who simply text their ex after a no contact rule, "Hey, what's up?" tend not to have the greatest of responses. Whereas instead, if you embed curiosity into the text message, you're a lot more likely to get a response. So what does a curiosity text message look like? Well, simply put, we're really big fans of the damsel in distress text messages for women. So for example, you are having a problem at work that only your ex can solve. "Hey, can I get your opinion on a huge problem?" That in and of itself is embedded curiosity. Mistake number 7, going through the process without a plan. I don't care if you're using my plan. I don't care if you're using someone else's plan. The most important thing for you to do when you actually try to successfully win an ex back is to go into that process with a game plan. This is not the type of thing that you can just shoot from the hip and hope for the best results. Think of it like this. Most of the people who are watching this video probably have not run a marathon. If you have, awesome. If you haven't, you wouldn't expect to be able to run 26 miles tomorrow. You would have to plan for it, oftentimes building the mileage up until you have the type of stamina that can survive a grueling race like that. The same thing applies here. Don't expect to get great results just by shooting from the hip and hoping for the best results. You need to have a game plan. Mistake number 8, doing too long of a no contact rule. All right, so there's this concept that I'll often talk about called the HABBIT rule. How long do you think it takes to make or break a habit? Well, research suggests that 66 days is how long it takes to form a new habit or actually get out of the habit of doing something. So this is an important concept for you to understand because when you're immediately doing a no contact rule after your breakup, this is a huge shift within your ex. Your ex may initially get upset or angry and try to do things to get you to break the no contact rule, but assuming you are in a no contact rule for, let's say, 100 days, at some point your ex is going to get used to not talking to you and you're going to lose your opportunity to actually rebuild a connection with them. This is why we only try to recommend no contact rules up to 45 days because we don't want you to interact with an ex when they're really not even interested in talking to you. Mistake number 9, writing a letter to your ex. I hate letters. And it's not that I have anything against them. I really don't. It's just I have never seen one ever work to successfully win an ex back. I have seen them work basically when you already have an ex back or you're in the midst of a relationship. But when it comes to letters, oftentimes the issue I have with them is you cannot help yourself but write this long, really emotional letter, and oftentimes it kind of makes you look ultra desperate. We don't recommend them. We don't like them. Don't do them. Mistake number 10, sending a gift to your ex. You are not going to win your ex back by sending them flowers, by sending them a new guitar, by sending them a gift basket full of their favorite video games. This is not the type of foundation you want to build a relationship on, even if it did win you your ex back. But all it ends up really doing is indicating to your ex that you are still very interested in them and they got all this really cool stuff from you, so they just should continue doing what they're doing. Also, in an odd way, you're rewarding their really negative behavior. Assuming you're sending a gift, because most of the people who send gifts tend to be in a situation where things are not going well. So by sending the gift, they think to themselves, well, if I just send this gift, I will win them back. They will understand how much I care about them. But all you end up really doing is reinforcing the negative behavior that they're exhibiting, and that's not cool. Hey there, real quick before we get you back to your video, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, well, please do that. It really does help. It helps keep our video editors paid. It helps us keep doing these high quality videos. And it's really 5 seconds out of your day to click one little button. So if you could, please just click the subscribe button. No harm, no foul if you're not interested, but we figured we'd try. All right, let's get you back to your video. Mistake number 11, wishing your ex a happy birthday during no contact. Once again, the bane of my existence comes alive. Wishing your ex a happy birthday during no contact is not gonna win you them back. All it will end up doing is basically ruining whatever progress you've made in no contact. And also, you will make more of an impact by the fact that you did not wish them happy birthday than if you did wish them happy birthday. Now, the rules are a little bit different if you're out of no contact and already engaging in a conversation with them. But if you're in no contact, do not wish your ex a happy birthday. It really doesn't do anything for you. I mean, realistically, do you think just because you wished your ex a happy birthday, they're gonna say, oh my God, she loves me or he loves me, I need to get back with this person? No. What's gonna happen is there are 50 other people wishing your ex a happy birthday and you're just gonna get lost in the shuffle and they're not going to respond, or they're just gonna say thanks. And you've just ruined your progress during no contact for thanks. That's not okay. Mistake number 12, not even doing a no contact rule. The no contact rule is the foundation pretty much on everything that you're going to do as you get your ex back. Because the no contact rule is really more about you than your ex. It's gonna prove two things to you. Number one is that you have the discipline to see the no contact rule through to the end. And number two is hopefully at some point you realize your life does not revolve around your ex and that you will be completely fine without them. And so that when you go through this process and you engage your ex in a conversation where you have this mentality, all of a sudden the chips are stacked a bit differently and the tables have turned. Not doing a no contact rule essentially robs you of that, and you go immediately from this hyper critical, hyper anxious state to talking to your ex and trying all of our advice. It's not gonna work out well. Pretty much everything that we recommend is based on the fact that you are in the middle of implementing a no contact rule, not for your ex, but for you. So suck it up and do it. Mistake number 13, being emotionally unstable. So for this, we kind of have to talk a little bit about attachment styles. If you're familiar with our channel, we talk a lot about attachment styles, but basically there are 4 main attachment styles: secure attachment style, anxious attachment style, avoidant attachment style, and fearful attachment style. Most of the time, our clients have anxious attachment style tendencies. They're the ones who really value relationships a lot, to the point where they're blowing their ex's phone up trying to fix the relationship. They're very possessive, they get jealous really quickly, and their exes tend to be avoidants. They tend not to like anxious behaviors. So oftentimes when we talk about being emotionally stable, what we're really talking about is that you're mimicking secure attachment tendencies. You're getting rid of all the anxious energy that you're exhibiting forth when you actually converse with your ex. You're kind of have this I don't care what my ex thinks mentality. I'm just gonna be me, and if they don't like it, that's on them. Instead of, I really care about what my ex thinks, I need to say the right thing, I need to do the right thing, I need to make sure that they're not seeing anyone else. Those are fear-based things. So when I say being emotionally stable, what I'm really talking about is to really focus during no contact on making sure you're curbing your anxious tendencies with your ex. Mistake number 14. Sleeping with your ex. This is a mistake on a lot of different levels, and I do understand the temptation. Oftentimes, if things are going really well with an ex, but you're not quite getting the commitment that you're expecting, you're hoping for results too fast, what ends up happening is you think to yourself, well, if I just sleep with them, they'll realize how much they love me and they'll come back to me. All that ends up doing ultimately is making your ex realize that you are willing to sleep with them without a commitment. And so they will take advantage of that, and all you end up being to them is friends with benefits. Mistake number 15, getting into a fight with your ex. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand. I'm not saying you don't stand up for yourself. I'm saying that you do not actively continue to engage your ex in arguments. Oftentimes, if an ex is argumentative, the worst thing you could do is feed back into that argument and blow it up into even a bigger thing. I'm not saying you don't stand up for yourself. I am saying if your ex is getting upset about something, stepping away from the situation, not giving them a response at all, or simply saying, it looks like you need to calm down, and then stepping away. That's probably the way you should approach the situation. Mistake number 16, expecting results too fast. Now this kind of goes hand in hand with going too fast too soon, but it is slightly different. We're talking really about expectations here. A lot of times there are people who have false expectations based on really the breakup industry that you can get your ex back in 30 days. That's not the case. I have seen it happen before, but it's usually very rare. In fact, when you actually average the average success story time it takes for our success stories to actually get their exes back, it usually happens 5.2 months after they begin working with us. This is not the type of thing where you can just immediately get results the next day. It usually takes a while and you have to exhibit patience. So ultimately the mistake here is not tempering your expectations and trying to do your research and understand exactly how long this process is going to take before you embark on it. Mistake number 17, not being able to outgrow your ex. Without a doubt, my opinion is this is the biggest mistake people make, because a lot of times people are really interested in special tactics they can use or special strategies that they can use, like reverse psychology or the curiosity text that we talked about before, but that's not sustainable. And what I mean by that is that's the kind of thing that really doesn't matter as much as this concept right here, which is outgrowing your ex. You get to a place emotionally where you just don't really care if you get them back or not, which ironically is the exact situation you're in right now. You're already broken up, so if you try and fail, you'll be in the exact situation you are in right now. But the outgrowing your ex concept actually should be happening during the no contact rule, because if you are able to outgrow your ex, you'll find that every single strategy that you try after the no contact rule is exponentially easier and the results are better. And mistake number 18, giving your ex an ultimatum. Quick question, what is more effective? Me saying that if you don't watch this video in the next 10 days, I'll never make another video again, or basically never making another video again? Well, one is tell and don't show, and then one is show and don't tell. This is the problem I have with ultimatums. A lot of times people who are in situations where they're really close to getting their exes back get frustrated and say, you know what, if you don't commit to me in 10 days, I am going to leave and find someone else. Yet when those 10 days are up, they don't really want to find someone else, so they just sort of continue to go back to their ex, and their ex is like, hey, I thought you were going to find someone else, and it just becomes this big mess. So instead, what they should have done is not tell their ex, like, hey, I am gonna find someone else if you don't commit to me in 10 days. Rather, they should just go find someone else. And then their ex will read through the subtext and understand, oh my gosh, I may lose them forever. That's almost always more effective. And this is the problem with ultimatums. Oftentimes, an ultimatum will do nothing but alienate your ex and make them realize, hey, this is not the person I wanna be with. And that's not okay. Hey there, thanks so much for getting to the end of this video. If you haven't already, make sure you take the Ex Recovery Chances quiz in the description link of this YouTube video. It's our simple, free 2-minute quiz designed to basically tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back, and it's super easy to take. Again, just look in the description link below this YouTube video and click the link you see there. Also, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, if you could please do so, I'd be eternally grateful. I'll see you next time.